Hello there. It is about 11:30 at night on Sunday right now, and Summerween starts in like 30 minutes. So freaking excited that it's finally time for Summerween. It's like gonna be a week of Halloween in the summertime, and we're just gonna be reading some thrillers and horrors and just living our best life. To celebrate the start of it, I have been eating some Starbursts all night because, you know, what's more Halloween like than candy? I didn't even know you can get Starbursts that are only the red ones, but it's like only red and pink, which are like the best flavors, and then they also have two other flavors in here, like watermelon and fruit punch, and they're all so freaking good. So my life has been changed. Anyways, I think for this readathon I'm gonna be starting with my best friend's Exorcism, because this is one that I feel like I can bust out in a reasonable amount of time because it's like a young adult, and this one just looks like so much fun. It looks like it has like the most 80 vibes. I really love this like VHS type cover. And the spine, like, look at how freaking beautiful this book is. Like, it is freaking stunning. I'm pretty excited for this week, actually, because I am only working 25 hours at work this week, which is pretty low for me. I usually work like a 40-hour work week, so it'll be nice to have that extra time to dedicate to reading. I do have a lot going on, though. Like, even though I'm only working 25 hours, like, tomorrow morning, I have an appointment for my contacts and my glasses prescriptions because I need to get it updated. And so I have that in the morning tomorrow, so I can't stay up too late tonight reading. On Wednesday morning, even though I technically have the day off, I have like a meeting in the morning that I have to go to that's probably going to be like 2 or 3 hours long possibly. But I'm really excited for this week. I also just announced in my TBR video that I posted the other day, I announced that me and Olivia are going to be doing a live show on my channel this upcoming Sunday at the end of the readathon. And I'm really excited for that too, so I think this week is going to be a whole lot of fun. There, it is day 1 of Summerween, and it is pretty early in the morning. Well, early for me. It's like 9:40 in the morning right now, and I'm at Costco for my contacts and glasses prescription update. But I did want to update you that last night I did start my best friend's Exorcism, and I got to page 78, so I made a small dent in it last night, and I've got to say, so far it's like okay for me. I feel like the first 50 pages of this book could have definitely been considered like a regular young adult contemporary, like nothing really super creepy was happening yet, and then around like the 60 page mark something kind of creepy finally happened, and reading that scene like late last night I was like, ooh, it's starting to pick up, it's starting to get good, so I am excited to read some more of this later. But for now, I'm going into Costco for my appointment, and I really love that all the chapter titles are like 80s song titles, and I also found a playlist on Spotify that was made by the publisher that's like all the songs from the playlist, so I've been listening to that while I'm reading it, and like the 80s vibes are so real, and I love that. Of course, you know I'm at Vitality, because where else would I go to eat? How cute. They always write my name on the bag. It makes me feel special. Oh, yes. I'm gonna eat some food and then jump back into this book. I just finished eating and I took out my contacts and put on my glasses, and I just got 2 packages delivered. I have no idea what these 2 things are, and I'm really hoping that one of them is Clown in a Cornfield, because how perfect would that be? But I don't know, so we'll find out together. First one. Oh my god, it's Anxious People. It's like a finished final copy. Ooh, this is so cool. They sent with this, it looks like it's like a layout of the apartment or the house, because, you know, like this entire book takes place in a house where these people are being held hostage, but it's like during an open house, so there's like a bunch of people there. So I think this is like showing you the layout of the house that they're in, which is like super cool. I didn't even know I was getting this. Oh my gosh, it's so kind. Ooh, so cute. It's like a card for the book, and then on the back it has like all the characters, names and stuff. This will be useful for when I read this book. God, I really do need to read this book. I have an arc of it still, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but wow, I need to read this book. That is so kind, holy shit. Okay then, what is this other one? It is! It's beautiful! It's beautiful! It's shiny! Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh. This is stunning. I don't know why I was expecting this book to be so long. Maybe just because it reminds me so much of it that I was thinking it was just gonna be like really long. Oh, it's beautiful. It is stunning. Obsessed. I can't wait to read this. Hey, oh my god, this is literally perfect timing. I can't believe this came today. I was like not expecting it to show up until later on in the week, so I am so excited right now. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much to this author Adam for wanting to send me a copy of this. Like, I super appreciate you, and I cannot wait to read this book. It's definitely one of my most anticipated horror books because, you know, clowns and small towns and teenagers and yes. Anyways, I need to read this book right now. I'm gonna read this book today. I'm only 78 pages in, but this one's only like 330-ish pages, so I'm going to lay in bed right now. It's almost like noon right now. I'm gonna lay in bed and I'm not gonna get out of bed until I finish this book. Just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am just about halfway through it. I'm on page 187 now, so I've read a little bit over 100 pages right now, and I'm still really enjoying it. This book just has this like really creepy vibe, and it definitely has 80s vibes because this book is talking about some things that just were more taboo, I guess, to talk about in the 80s. Some of the characters in this book are really frustrating me, but I think like that's the intent of this book. Like, some characters are supposed to be frustrating, and nobody's taking this young girl Abby seriously, who's like the main character, so that's really frustrating. But all the blue sticky tabs that I put in there were some like really creepy scenes that's happened, so this book is good so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm curious to see where it's going. And I think I am going to go ahead and just make some iced coffee right now, just because I really want it right now. I'm on page 252, and I think I just read the most disturbing, disgusting, gross scene that I've read in a book since I read The Troop by Nick Cutter. Like, my stomach is seriously disturbed right now, and that was very graphic and like, but wow, this book is definitely stepping up and delivering on the horror. Like, it's been very mild horror for the majority of the book, and now it's just like, holy shit, this is disgusting, but like in a good way, you know, like this is what I wanted from a horror book, and I'm definitely getting it. This is happening. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I just finished my best friend's exorcism. and this book was wild. My initial feeling for this book is that I want to give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. I'm not sure if I enjoyed this one more than the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which is the only other Grady Hendrix that I've read. But I really love Grady Hendrix's writing. It's kind of weird, but I feel like he's really good at writing female characters, especially like teenage female relationships, even though he's like a dude. Usually I always like am kind of like ugh about like male writers trying to write like female relationships, but I feel like he does it really well. And this book did have some scenes that genuinely like creeped me out and scared me. I think the idea of like exorcisms are just kind of so weird and terrifying and kind of like gross, and I feel like this book definitely delivered on all of those horror things, because I do feel like this book was very mild for the first like 200 pages or so. Like it took a long time for things to really pick up as far as like the horror went. So I'm glad it finally like went there, you know what I mean? Like this book definitely gets to that point where you're like, whew. I feel like Grady Hendrix too is really good about writing about real life fear in his horror books, as well as like gross crazy horror, because I feel like in, you know, the Southern Book Club, in that book it was like there was this fear of like women not being taken seriously in their marriages and not being able to use their own voices. And I feel like that's definitely present in this book too, because like nobody believes these teenage girls when they say like something happened. Like if they were raped, people are like, oh, you're too young to even know what that word means. Like that's a big accusation to make for somebody your age, and you know, shit like that. So it's like this book really does play on those like real life fears that you have, like not being believed if something really awful happens to you. And I just think Grady Hendrix does a really great job of like portraying those real life fears, as well as mixing in some really insane crazy horror. But I had so much fun with this book. I really think this was a great book to kick off the readathon. It had the most 80s vibes in a book maybe ever, and I loved the chapter titles like with the 80s songs, and listening to the 80s music while I was reading this book just made it an entire different reading experience for me. Like it was so much fun. Yeah, this book almost made me cry at the end. Like the last chapter was really beautiful, and like it kind of broke my heart. And I love though on the back of this book how it says this book packs all the magic of a summer horror flick, and I feel like that's so true, because I feel like this is the perfect book to read for Summerween, because this book still has these like summer vibes to it, but it also has these like spooky Halloween haunted vibes for it. So it's like literally the perfect book for Summerween, because it's like simultaneously summer and spooky at the same time. And I love that. Like it definitely does feel like an 80s movie. I love that this cover has like the VHS and it says be kind, please rewind. Like, oh my gosh, I definitely appreciate this cover. I was alive when VHS tapes were still a thing. I remember them from when I was a kid, so I just think this cover is so cute and so nostalgic. And yeah, I just had a really fun time reading this, and I especially love books that are kind of centered on female friendships, and especially teenage female friendships, so this book was definitely right up my alley in that sense. And yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about it. I really enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to finish this one so soon in the readathon. Ow, sir. I just checked the mail, and I got some packages in the mail that I'm pretty excited about. One of them is this. And this is from Rachel. She's such a kind human. She sent me a book sleeve. She did message me about this. He's like on my shoulder. Oh my god, cute. Look at how cute. I've never had a book sleeve, so I'm really excited about this. Ow, bro. But this one's so cute. Me and Olivia got matching sleeves, so we're gonna be twinning, which I'm pretty excited about. Happy Go Lovely sleeves. Can you see that? It's so cute. I'll have to link her down below. Tank, bro. Oh my gosh, this is literally so freaking cute. Oh my gosh, nice. It has a big pocket in the front. Oh my god. Sit down. Relax, bro. Relax. No, just sit down. No biting, sit down. Oh my gosh, so it has a really big pocket right in the front, which is so cool. And then the inside is orange. Wow, isn't that so cute? I'm obsessed. This is beautiful. So nice. So thank you so much, Rachel, for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. It's beautiful, and I've never had a book sleeve. I'm so excited. I think it's really cool that it has this front pocket too, because then I can like carry many things in this, not just the book. And then this next thing, I'm almost certain this is one of the Taylor Swift CDs that I ordered, because it came in this cute little box last time it was. Tink, no! That cover, it's beautiful. It's just her running in a field. Love it, live for it. I would say this is the first time that I've owned multiple Taylor Swift albums of the same album, but it's not the case. I mainly just buy all these because I want to see like the booklets for each one, you know what I mean? That intro, wow. That is beautiful. Through and seeing all the pictures. Look at how cute. Freaking a queen. Oh my god, she's so beautiful. I'm dead. Oh my gosh, cute. Like, this one's probably my favorite booklet that I've received so far, so I'm glad I got this one. It is now 12:18 in the morning, and where did the night go, you might ask? Well, my sister got home from work, and then we had some dinner, and then she uploaded this new video to her channel tonight that's like a video of comparing the album 1989 to Folklore by Taylor Swift. So we watched that video, and then we just like, you know, fell down the Taylor Swift rabbit hole for the rest of the night. You know how it is. We were just talking about the albums, and then we had to listen to all of the songs and feel all the feels, and then compare like every era, and then just talk about Taylor Swift's entire career, and you know, just the usual Taylor Swift fan stuff. You know, it's like hours go by and you're like, where did the time go? But yeah, I think I'm just gonna lay in bed and like watch YouTube or something for the rest of the night, because I don't really feel like reading, especially since I read an entire book today. But I'm definitely bringing my book sleeve with me to work tomorrow, and I was actually messaging the girl Rachel that sent me this, and she told me that this glows in the dark. Apparently the skeletons glow in the dark. Like, how freaking cool is that? She just said it needs to be in the sunlight for like a few minutes and then it'll glow in the dark, so like that's really cool. But also I'm gonna take this to work with me tomorrow and take these two books, because I'm not totally sure which book I want to start next. I think I do want to read this one tomorrow and just bust it out tomorrow, since it is so short and I do work all day tomorrow. So I want to take this to work so I can start it while I'm on break and then just bring it home and finish it tomorrow night, hopefully. Morning! It is day 2 of Summerween, and it's actually pretty like cloudy and kind of cold this morning, so I am living. And apparently Starbucks just announced today that their pumpkin spice lattes are back today and their fall drinks, and I just want to die of happiness. I am on the way to work. I'm running a little bit late, but I'm bringing a Winco breakfast burrito with me, which I've been wanting to try for a while, so I heated that up really fast. And then I'm also bringing for lunch, I'm trying these chicken bacon Caesar wraps that they sell there. They look super good and I haven't tried one yet, so we're bringing that. And I'm also bringing my books, and hopefully I'll get a break in time to read today, but if not, I'll be working all day. Not really like a podcast person. Like, I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast in my life, but Olivia keeps recommending this podcast on Spotify called Creepy Caffeine, and so I think I'm just gonna try listening to it on the way to work and like see if it's my thing and just give it a go, because why not?
Left in an abandoned mine when he was
on my lunch break, and it is time to try this chicken Caesar bacon wrap. I'm very excited about this. Yes.
Oh, okay. Wait, did they just land the code?
What?
Did they land the code?
Oh. Block it! I don't read it. God.
Who's a librarian?
I don't know.
Was someone else a librarian so far?
No.
Okay.
There's no librarians mentioned.
14. What's
Old
12?
enough.
I mean, 12 isn't old enough, but 14 is.
We're not that far apart.
That's a pretty big difference.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh. It looked like he was like, he has like, you know, like Two-Face? The guy that got like, had face burn. That's what I thought for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
Block as other notorious criminals such as Herbert Mullen and Charles Manson. Papers show particular disdain for Mullen, who committed his murders at the same time and in the same area as Kemper. He described Mullen as, quote, just a cold-blooded killer, killing everybody he saw for no good reason, unquote. Kemper manipulated and physically intimidated Mullen, who at 5 feet 7 inches, or 1.70 meters, was more than a foot shorter than him.
Hello. It is a little bit later in the night now. It's like almost 8 o'clock and I am off of work and I'm back at the apartment. I barely started 1922 while I was on break this afternoon. I got to page 22, so like barely, 1922, page 22, But the opening like scene of this book was really intense and like graphic and gruesome, and I was like, because if you didn't know anything about what this book is about, it takes place in 1922 and it follows this guy. Oh my god, this thing is so annoying. And it follows this guy who owns this property, and his wife wants to like sell the property, but he can't sell the property without selling his own property because the two properties are like next to each other, I guess. And so she really wants to sell it and he's like, no. So then he convinces their teenage son to help him murder her. And so the first, like one of the first scenes in this book is him gruesomely murdering her, and it's like awful and tragic and horrible, and but that was a really intense opening scene. And then I think this book is kind of about how something supernatural starts to happen after she's killed. So I think she's like haunting this land or something like that. I think that's where this is going. And it was like creepy so far. I'm gonna try to finish it later tonight. Also, I've been listening to this Creepy Caffeine podcast on Spotify that was recommended by Olivia. And I listened to episode 99 and I'm almost finished with episode 100. I just like listened to their most 2 recent episodes, and this is so interesting. I've always been like super interested in true crime and stuff, so it doesn't surprise me that I'm kind of like really into this podcast. But I like it because at the beginning of the podcast they talk about like what caffeine they're drinking, so they talk about like coffee and stuff, which I like coffee, and then they go into like the topic discussion thing of the day. And the one that I listened to, the first one was the ghosts of notorious serial killers that still haunt things, and it was really creepy because they were talking about like this serial killer who used to dress up in a clown costume to like disguise himself, and how he still haunts like the house and like the place, and he haunts it in the clown costume still. So like not only is like a serial killer haunting this like house, but he's in his clown costume when he's haunting the house. Like how fucking terrifying is that to think about? And then in this one that I just listened to, they're talking about this serial killer who's named Edmund Kemper, who I've personally never heard of before. I don't know like a lot of the huge famous notorious serial killers. Like I'm only super familiar with like the really popular ones like Ted Bundy and like. So this episode was like really, really interesting. True crime is just so fascinating to me, even though I think it's so awful and gut-wrenching and just like tragic. But there's just something about it that I really gravitate towards. So I really am enjoying this podcast. I think I do want to listen to more of it. And I do know that there's that other podcast I've been wanting to listen to forever. It's called My Favorite Murder, I think. And it's the 2 girls that wrote the book Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered. And I loved that book so freaking much, so like I've been wanting to listen to that podcast for like forever, so like maybe I should just start listening to podcasts more. I don't know. Look at what Rachel got tagged. Killing it with the little mask. Oh my god. With the lion? Dead. Oh yeah, those cute little dog toys. Boo. Yeah, he's ready for Halloween. Very. It smells like freaking fall in here. Oh my god. Look at this. Oh, sweater weather and puppy kisses and the little pumpkins. Freaking spice and everything nice. Oh, these are so cute. We got these at Home Goods the other day. And we put them out early because it's Summerween. And look at my pizza. Yum. It got put in a little too long. Just a little crispy. Hello, it is a little bit later in the night now. It's like 11:30 and I have been laying in the main room out there in the apartment reading this book. I am on page 88 right now out of 130, so I only have this tiny little bit left and I'm planning on finishing it right now. It's really good so far. I'm actually really impressed with like the vibe of this book. It's really creepy. I love the father and son relationship in this book. Like it's a very interesting dynamic between them. I don't know. I'm like super impressed by this. Like for it being a really short story, I find myself already being really drawn into the story and really connecting with these characters already. So I'm excited to see where this goes. There was a very spooky scene that involved a cow and a rat, and that's all I'm gonna say about that, because if you know the scene, then you know the scene. That was very strange to read about, and I've heard that this book gets very extreme with rats, so I'm curious to see where that goes. I have a feeling it's gonna get very dark and intense towards the end here, and I kind of love that like Stephen King's writing is just so unique. Like there was this one part that I made a note of in here when he says, "That made me care for her, only that's too thin, reader. I loved her." And he like literally says reader, like he's addressing the person reading the book. Like, isn't that so strange? He literally says a comment towards the reader and he says reader. I just think that's so weird. I don't know, like I don't see any other books that do that where like they address the fact that this is a book and that there's somebody reading the book, you know? I don't know, it's very strange, very Stephen King for sure. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I feel like if anything, this book is proving to me that Stephen King can write shorter books that are equally effective with the level of horror. It's finished 1922 and it was so good. That was a really great ending to the book, and I feel like Stephen King usually isn't that great at writing book endings, but I feel like this one had like the perfect ending. And I feel so genuinely creeped out right now by like rats and like, ugh, rats are so gross. I really enjoyed this. Like I'm actually super impressed by this, and I think I'm gonna give this like 4 stars or maybe higher. I don't know. I really enjoyed this. I'm like super surprised because I honestly didn't think I would get much out of this. But this was super terrifying, and honestly now I kind of don't want to watch the movie because this book was so freaking graphic and gory and just gross. I kind of hate watching horror movies that are like just graphic and gory and bloody and gross. So like I don't know if I want to watch this movie adaptation now, but this was such a good book. It was so good. And oh my gosh, I need to go to bed because it's 12:15 in the morning right now, and I have to wake up at 8 a.m. tomorrow for a meeting in the morning that's gonna be so long. And I did not sleep good last night, so like, oh my god, I'm so tired. I will see you in the morning. Woo! Good morning. It's like 8:20 in the morning right now, and I am on the way to work for a meeting. This is not my hour. I am not a morning person, and I'm so tired from staying up to finish that book. I mean, I was only up till like 12:30 or 12:45 last night, but still, like, I got less than 8 hours of sleep, so I'm freaking tired. It is now 10 a.m. I'm so freaking tired, but we just finished the first meeting, and now we will begin the second meeting in like 5 minutes. And yeah, Austin and Rachel are here. They had to be here for the first part of the meeting, but now the second part of the meeting it's only me, so they're going to get McDonald's breakfast because they seriously need like food or something to like wake me up. I'm so freaking exhausted right now.
Because anyway, I just wait. So then
Yes.
Sign is like, okay, if this is Tara, then, you know, what happened to her, where is she, what was going on in this photo, and if it's not, then who is it, and then still, where's Tara?
Hello, it's actually been a couple of hours since I last updated you. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon now because I just woke up from a very much needed nap because I haven't been sleeping very well these last few days, so I just felt like I needed to like catch up and relax my body. But anyways, it's almost 2 o'clock now, so I am on the way to Starbucks because it is time to get my first pumpkin spice latte of the season. Oh my god, it's beautiful. I haven't even taken the first sip yet because I just wanted to like cherish this moment, you know? Oh my god, it's officially fall. Starbucks just decided that fall came early. I have no control over this. It's fall now. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. Also, I got one of their pumpkin cream cheese muffins because we're just going all out today. You know. Oh my god. Yes, I feel so alive. Also, I just got an exciting mail package. It's actually from Adam, who the publisher actually sent me Clown in a Cornfield earlier this week, but he had told me that he was gonna be sending a signed copy of the book. So I'm probably just gonna end up passing along the other copy that I have to a friend. Like, it's another copy. Oh my god, freaking cool. I love when authors actually sign the books when they send them. Like, that is so freaking sweet. Oh, man. I'm actually going to be jumping into this book while I'm eating and drinking my food. I created a Summerween like tab on my Instagram so I could save all of everybody that I've been reposting for Summerween is saved onto here, and then also just like me like daily vlogging on Instagram throughout my week. So if you missed it, it'll be saved onto here. Now I think I'm gonna start Clown in a Cornfield, and I do realize that I originally intended to read this for like reading a book in the dark, like reading the entire book in the dark, but like it's only the afternoon right now and I really want to start this, so I'm just gonna start it. Like 4:30ish in the afternoon right now, and I am on page 108 of this book, and so far I'm feeling like this book is okay for me. I feel like it is setting up a really interesting premise though, and if you like books that kind of follow like small towns, then I really think you would enjoy this book. So far in this book, I don't know like too much about what it's about, but so far we're following this young girl Quinn, but she's moving to this small town called Kettle Springs because her mom recently died, I'm pretty sure, so her and her dad want like a fresh start, so they're moving to this new small town. And in this small town there's like a bunch of kids that are pulling pranks that are like making the elderly people in the town kind of like upset and angry. And so far there's a lot of like political themes and messages happening in this book about like, you know, like there was like a direct line that said make Kettle Springs great again. There's definitely that happening in this book, which I really love because I love when horror books kind of address politics in a very like in your face way, and I really love when horror books can do that because it just like adds to the horror of it for me. You know, like politics can be really awful and horrible too, so I do like seeing that in this. And so far it's just been like Quinn kind of like getting introduced to some of the kids she goes to school with and learning about the pranks that they've done and some of the things that have happened in the town. And yeah, I'm definitely curious to see where it goes. I'm glad I read the first 100 pages like this afternoon because nothing like really creepy has happened yet, so I'm really excited to save some of this book for later tonight when it's dark, and then hopefully creepy things will happen later when I'm reading it. So far I don't really know how the clown thing is going to tie into this book because I'm thinking they keep saying the town's mascot is this clown, and like there's this clown giant painting on the side of this factory that started to get burned down, and I don't know, like there's definitely a lot of like things happening with clowns, but nothing like too scary has happened yet. But it definitely has a lot of It vibes, except for the fact that the kids are a little bit older, like they're in high school. Hi there. It's like 11:30 at night right now, and it's been hours since I last updated you. I haven't read anything since I last updated you. I did get my cute, adorable little webcam in the mail today, and I'm really excited about this because it's just so small, so HD. It's a 1080 webcam and it was only $30, so I'm pretty stoked about this. I'm excited that I got it in time for the live show that I'm doing with Olivia on Sunday, so hopefully you will see me in way more HD than you're used to seeing me live. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna end this vlog here because I want this to go up tomorrow, which you'll be watching this on Thursday. And I am going to read Clown in a Cornfield tonight in the dark right now. I'm pretty nervous about it, honestly, because the idea of reading a book about clowns in the dark, it's just gonna be scary. So I'm just gonna light some candles, and then I have my little book light that I will be reading with, and then it's just gonna be pitch black in here. So it should be a pretty entertaining time, but you'll have to check in for the next Summerween vlog to see the footage from that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching as always. I've already been watching some people's Summerween vlogs that have been going up, and I've been seeing so many people posting on Instagram and tagging me and Olivia, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. Like, it means so much to see people in the community being so excited about a readathon that me and Olivia created, and it just warms my black heart so much, you know? And I just really appreciate anybody that's like taken the time to like message me on Instagram or tag me in Instagram stories and just participating and having so much fun with me and Olivia. Like, seriously, it means the world. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited for the rest of this readathon. I still got so much reading to do. So yeah, let me know how the readathon is going for you, and I will see you very soon with another Summerween reading vlog. Bye.